They know the cause is likely lost, yet they don't stop. Days of sandbagging, no match for the falling rain and rising floodwaters. And now exhaustion is morphing into anger.
We don't have enough help. I don't know where the army is. So I don't know what else to say. It's a disaster.
Residents here say soldiers dropped a load of sandbags and headed off to the next neighborhood. They're angry the army wasn't called in sooner.
It's too late. They're here too late. And they're not even sending them down to help the other people that are still able to save their house.
About 80 soldiers arrived in Gatineau this morning for relief operations, part of the more than 1,200 troops on the ground across Quebec. The assistance comes as hundreds have been forced from their homes in the Gatineau region alone.
We understand that your house is your most prized possession, but at the same time, the message is your life is the most prized possession.
Safety on the roads is another key concern. Highway 50, a major thoroughfare in Gatineau, is partially closed, and thousands of federal public servants in that city are being told to take tomorrow off. Across the river in Ontario, the flooding is bad, though closures are not as severe. The military has not been called in, but an army of volunteers has been delivering sandbags. In some parts of Ottawa, floodwaters are already waist deep and could rise even further. While the rain has eased off for the most part, showers and flurries are expected overnight. City officials say the river may not peak until tomorrow. Until the waters recede, these volunteers will keep bagging and hauling in the hopes of limiting the already devastating damage. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Montreal is in a state of emergency tonight. Most of the city is fine, but some suburbs have been struggling, and they need city resources to flow in to protect them from the tide destroying their homes. Alison Northcott has more on that.
Houses in this neighborhood were evacuated early this morning. The water got so high it breached a makeshift dike and poured into the streets.
And the house was flooding over by a couple of inches every 5-10 minutes. It was going up, so we figured we can't stay here.
In another part of the city, firefighters carried stranded residents to safety. And with water levels in many areas still getting higher, Montreal's mayor declared a state of emergency that covers the outer boroughs. Among other things, it allows the city to order mandatory evacuations when residents refuse to leave their flooded homes.
We can understand some of the frustration. You know, it's not easy when you live a situation where you build your house and you feel that you will lose everything. I understand that.
Some who have left are at evacuation centers but don't know where they'll go next.
I'm pregnant, so it's like I have 2 kids, I'm pregnant and nowhere to stay, so I'm really wondering what's going on and what we're gonna do, and so I really don't know.
Right now, I don't even have, look at the way I am.
He's wearing my mom's shoes.
I have her mom's shoes on. Everything for me is lost.
A growing number of Quebec municipalities are under a state of emergency. The military is now on the ground in Rigaud, west of Montreal. It's one of the hardest hit areas and it keeps getting worse.
The water's been up like over a foot since overnight.
Some have been refusing to leave their homes. We didn't want to leave, we wanted to wait, says Monique Ouellette. But today, the mayor ordered people in some areas out.
The fire department will be come around to evacuate people, and if there is any resistance, the provincial police will follow the fire department and actually remove the people if they need be.
It was hard for Michel Damour to give up.
At one point you get fed up. After 3 weeks, almost a month now, I'm just fed up to fight that.
The situation continues to deteriorate in some areas where patience has worn thin and frustration is mounting. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.